Ever think a small, everyday good deed could actually change a whole city? What if the real heroes aren't the ones in charge, but just regular folks doing something kind? He was a street cleaner, a quiet guy in his late 60s. He spotted something odd on the ground, half hidden by leaves. It wasn't trash. It was a small, leather notebook, old and clearly well used. Arthur knelt down and carefully picked it up. Most days, he was out in Central Park before the sun was even up, pushing his broom round. People usually just walked right past him. It was a picture of this incredible glass building, like nothing he'd ever seen. It looked unfinished, but it felt powerful. You could tell someone had poured their heart into it. This wasn't just some casual doodle. They saw the uniform, not the man. But Arthur, he saw everything. He loved the park in those early hours. It was peaceful, and he often found stuff people just left behind. He figured every little lost thing had a story. His life was pretty simple, but he felt good about making things a bit tittier. So, meet Arthur. One foggy Tuesday, Arthur was sweeping near a quiet bench, kind of tucked away. He gently opened it. Inside, there were all these amazing sketches. One drawing on the first page really grabbed him. Arthur knew it was important. Someone would miss it. He looked round. Nobody was there. He carefully wiped off the wet leaves, being super careful not to mess up the paper. Then, instead of just leaving it on the bench where it could get messed up, Arthur found a little spot inside the roots of a big oak tree. He tucked the notebook in there, propped up so you could see it, but it was safe from the rain. "Hope someone finds you," he whispered. Then he went back to work. He didn't think twice about it. Just a little thing. What Arthur didn't know was that the park had just put in some new, really good security cameras right there, and he definitely didn't know who owned that notebook. There was this huge riverfront Renaissance project. It was supposed to make the old industrial area look new and amazing, but the main guy, a famous architect named Elias Vance, suddenly pulled out. He said he just didn't have the inspiration anymore. Vance was a total genius, known for wild, future-looking buildings, but lately, he hadn't really done much. People were whispering that he'd lost his touch. A well-dressed lady got out. And then Elias Vance himself. Arthur's broom just stopped. Vance, the famous architect, standing right there, looking at him. The book. I did, and I saw how you found it. How you treated it. That drawing, that was the very first idea for the riverfront project from years ago. I'd lost it, and honestly, I thought I'd lost my passion for the whole thing. I was ready to just quit. He smiled, surprised. You found it. I was hoping someone would. The whole multi-billion-dollar project was in danger of just stopping. I think this belongs to you, in a way. He held out the cleaned-up leather notebook. This famous architect was telling him about his lost passion. Weeks later, the city was in a bit of a panic. He was in his fancy apartment. He, a regular street cleaner, had actually inspired a world-famous architect to save a huge city project. His simple way of looking at things, his pure kindness, had somehow kicked off something huge. Just like they walk past you, your kindness, your respect for what others ignore, showed me how to move forward. It wasn't just about the drawing. It was about what you did, surrounded by building models he couldn't seem to finish. That lost notebook, it had that first, important sketch for the riverfront project, a man who cleans up what others leave behind. But you saw the value in a simple sketch. You treated it with respect, like it was a treasure. That act, it reminded me why I started, about the beauty in little things, in hidden potential. You reminded me that even stuff that seems lost or broken can be fixed, can be beautiful again. He'd lost it weeks ago, and just gave up on ever seeing it again, just like he'd given up on his ideas. Elias Vance was actually pretty down. But then, out of nowhere, his office got a call. A park ranger, looking through old security footage, saw Arthur. His assistant was confused, talking about project deadlines, but Vance just said, "This is more important." The ranger thought it was kind of interesting how the cleaner handled the notebook. He watched Arthur find it, clean it, and gently put it in the tree. The ranger actually knew it was Vance's specific. Rare notebook, he was a fan. So he picked it up and managed to get it back to Vance's office. When Elias Vance finally watched that grainy video of Arthur, this regular guy, he didn't know, taking such careful care of his lost notebook. Something just clicked inside him. He saw Arthur's hands, wiping the dirt. He saw the respect in his eyes. It wasn't just about the drawing itself. It was about how Arthur valued something someone else had thrown away. Vance had been feeling pretty worthless and uninspired himself, seeing Arthur cherish something seemingly unimportant somehow lit a spark in him again. Vance immediately told his assistant, "Find him, the man in the park, the street cleaner. I need to talk to him." A few days later, Arthur was doing his usual sweeping. A fancy black car pulled up. "Arthur," Vance said, his voice surprisingly soft. "I'm Elias Vance." Arthur's eyes got wide. Vance nodded. Arthur just listened, kind of confused but also amazed. But then, Vance went on, looking serious. "I saw you." He looked round the park. This city, it has so much hidden beauty, so much potential that people just walk past. Arthur just stood there, speechless. His broom was leaning against the bench. He, a regular street cleaner, had actually inspired a world-famous architect to save a huge city project. His simple way of looking at things, his pure kindness, had somehow kicked off something huge. Elias Vance, full of new ideas, finished his design. He even put in parts that celebrated the city as overlooked spots and the regular folks who worked hard there. He knew, deep down, that the smallest act of kindness, done without wanting anything back, could start the biggest changes. It could bring beauty and hope to the most surprising places. It taught him that true value isn't about what you get, but about the amazing, unseen impact of what you give. And he publicly thanked Arthur, the park cleaner, as his unexpected inspiration. Arthur didn't get rich or famous, but his life felt much richer. Vance, quietly, put money into a beautiful new community garden and art space right in Arthur's neighborhood. It was a place for local artists, often unnoticed, and used old materials to make new art. Just like Arthur had helped save Vance's old sketch after that. The Riverfront Renaissance project really took off. But now he also saw all the chances for kindness, how every small, real act could spread out like ripples. He found his own real purpose, not just in cleaning, but in showing the good in everything and everyone. Arthur kept doing his morning sweeps, but now, sometimes people would stop and say hello. They saw him. He still noticed the little discarded things. He often visited that new garden, watching kids play among the cool sculptures made from old stuff.